What games did you guys play lately? If and excluding Tibia, right?
Let's see, Tibia. Jesus Christ! I used to
Mhm.
play WoW a long time ago.
Okay, which version of WoW?
I think it was the classic before it got really weird. I think after, I think a couple of years after, I kind of stopped getting interested in it. I think it may have after Crusades, maybe it was after Crusades. After everything changed, I think people got just tired of it.
Yeah, I feel like WoW has really ended with Wrath of the Lich King, and then it had a brief comeback with Legion, and after that, like I don't even know what happened. Yeah, it's kind of whatever, right?
Have you heard of a game called Rift?
Yes, I have.
Now that was supposed to be a WoW killer when it came out, and I played it like crazy. And then after a while, kind of got I don't know what happened. I just kind of lost interest in it. That was another one.
Okay, and what was different about Rift that kept you hooked?
I think it was the dynamics. So the quests were more dynamic, more it immersed you more. So like certain things you had to go. The mechanics were better at the time.
Okay.
When WoW was pretty much the only game in town, so it kind of like everyone was kind of looking for something new. So yeah, it was basically, but then it kind people got tired of it. I think it's like a thing. Like you get like a trend, then people get tired of it. It's like a chocolate or food. It just people just get tired of it and just move on to other things. It's just a trend.
I guess so. It's like a hype train, right? Like we had this with Throne and Liberty when it launched. Me and my friends, we hopped on it like crazy. We went so hard. Like we had a guild and we actually organized raids. We had separate Discord. It was insane, right? And so we played like this 2 months, right? And after those 2 months,
Yeah.
it's almost as if someone just turned off the switch and we immediately lost the interest in the game. Maybe it's because we hit the pay to win wall. I don't know, but it just stopped making sense at some point. It's like the actual game end game loop settled in, and we no longer saw a point of doing anything in the game anymore.
Yeah. I totally understand. Once you get to that point, and I think the current thing is it's kind of dying down a bit. Is Dune was also very popular now, apparently.
Really.
Yeah, so like I've seen a lot. There was a lot of videos and threads and everything, people doing shit. But then like people complained. I think it was what kind of died off quickly. It was the end game was kind of weak. They said.
You mentioned a while ago that in Rift the quest design was good, right? Did you guys play
Yeah.
The Secret World?
Was that Guild Wars 2?
No, Secret World from Funcom.
Let me look it up. I think I might have played it, but let me remind myself.
So there is this channel on YouTube. Fuck, I don't remember the name. They in like 11 years ago made a video about quest design, and they mentioned The Secret World as the peak of quest design. Apparently, extremely well written quests. And
I've never heard about this game.
yeah. Apparently,
Same.
they gave you an example of quests where you had to like investigate paintings on the wall to find clues and just kind of move on through the story that way. And obviously, we're talking about the game that's like older than me, so there's no like Wowhead or anything to help you. You could either ask someone who's done it or just figure it out yourself. And I always wonder how that kind of a quest design would sit well with the, I don't want to say modern audience. Modern audience is bad.
I think it's where how players. I believe the key is how players can interact with the world and affect the world, not just yourself, but people around it. I think. What was that game that's free to play? It is still around from Amazon Games. I forget the name of it. Let's see.
Wait, Amazon Games?
Just 1 second.
Yeah.
Do you mean New World?
Yes.
New World.
It's not free to play. You have to pay for the box.
Oh yeah. But yeah.
You have to buy the game and the DLCs.
Yeah. By the way, hi Aeikz.
Yeah, it kind of died off.
Yo.
Hey.
Yeah. Can I? Hey, wait. Okay, wait. Before we, ever since Ed mentioned that we're gonna have a chat, Rob, what kept you playing Tibia like crazy? What was it?
That's a good question, man.
Yeah, like
It was the threat of death.
what is the like a trait of a game that keeps you in front of the screen for fucking 20 years?
I keep coming back to it. I mean, I go away for a little while, you come back to it. I'm currently playing a monk because it's interesting. It's like a knight, but better.
Yeah.
Now it's like crazy with the weapon proficiency. There was a bug. So what happened? It was the Gluth axe, and had like a mana for. They made a mistake. So what happened? It was mana on hit. So you gain like crazy amounts of mana. So as knights, even fire ticks and stuff like fire fields and everything, it would gain crazy mana. So God was just running around and just killing shit, unkillable, just spamming everything. You could spam everything constantly.
That's cool.
But they removed it. It was
Wait, this
patched,
happened
so
in like modern Tibia?
a lot of things happened in Tibia. Little bugs. There was the door bug that all keys broke, so they took the key system away. That was a big thing.
Oh wow, okay.
Do
Then it
you?
was my level bug. I kind of their algorithm couldn't handle something. It's the way they do their thing. It's a German way. It's German logic. It's how everything's like hard, but it's like it can be rewarding. But they make it so. They make it hard. Some things I agree that they're doing some good thing, quality of life, but they have to keep on this track. So other things like the power, like I've seen people like over level 2000. It's just crazy what they can do now.
Yeah. When I played TB again, like I stopped for a really long time, and then I came back to it, and then it's like I was like, okay, TB is still good. It's not a bad game at all. It's not bad. The problem I see with Tibia now is I think almost purely monetary. It's like they
Yes.
took a lot of decisions that had a lot to do with money, right? So it ended up being like, oh, we have to make the game more accessible so that we make more money, or we have to do these things so that we make more money, or we have to do this like gambling mechanic in order to maximize in-app purchases, right? Which is like the hunting thing. I always forget how it's called. There's a bunch of cards that you can like row. Like that's the thing that bothers me about modern Tibia. Like I think the game itself is not bad at all.
Wait,
I mean,
did they?
We
do you
all
mean like
played
in
it,
Tibia
right?
there's gacha system now?
Yeah.
What the
A
fuck?
power game, actually. Pay to win. It's basically pay to win. You can. Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's
I
essentially
don't know
pay to
all
win.
that. But essentially, that wasn't what killed Tibia for me, because I was like a PvPer and I loved like the way how you have to aim with runes and everything like that. I know they had a cheating problem back then, and that was like one of their solutions to hotkey everything. But I still played a little bit when they introduced wands and everything. I think I played up to 8.0. But there was also when private servers or OT servers became a thing. So I was jumping off and on a lot of OT servers after that.
Can you
I did
play
come back
classic
for
Tibia
Tibia.
right now? Is it possible to play like OG Tibia?
Yes.
Yeah.
So there's a couple of servers, yeah.
There's also Tibia is extremely popular in Brazil right now. Well, before, but
Yeah.
now it's like it's like constant. So a lot of Brazilians have. So what happened? The old server code got accidentally leaked somehow and got the original what do you call it, the source code. So it kind of like got spread out. So then the Brazilians, being smart, they started reverse engineered it and created their own. So it's like there's a lot of like different like advertisements on YouTube and stuff like that about different Tibia versions and stuff like that. Something they're more current, like what mirrored to Tibia. And I think CIP Soft and the Brazilians made a deal. So CIP Soft would get a skim off the coins and stuff like that if they paid a percentage to CIP Soft. I think it's a secret agreement. They wouldn't go after them. I think.
Holy shit.
There's a lot of speculation that that's the reason why Medivh also changed their sprites and their map entirely, because they were it was basically the 7.4 version of Tibia, but eventually they even changed engines and they changed the map. Of course, they had some same monster names, but like essentially everything else got changed.
Wait, what
And
you
it's
just
funny.
said, what Arieswar just said is insane, actually. You don't have confirmation of that, right? It's just speculation.
There was something mentioned a long time ago. It was in a news thread. It's a long time ago. So instead of Tibia, I think Germans are pretty smart. Instead of like suing them, I think there's some kind of like agreement. So I believe they have to like. So if they're creating something close to Tibia, like something like that,
Mm.
I think they're changing the engine and stuff like that. But I think there might be an underlying agreement with CFA Soft. They can use resources, but they have to give a percentage of whatever typical whatever their monetized stuff. They give a percentage to CIP Soft. I am not 100% that, but I think that's what I've heard. I can't
Yeah.
quite confirm because I can't find the article anymore. I can't remember how I remembered it. That's the only reason why I think there was some kind of like ceasefire. I think there was some suing in the beginning when it started getting around, but I
They
think
just got
they
like a
looked at
deal,
it.
right?
Yeah, so there's so much money being made because the Brazilians have like a better, they can hype things up because in Brazilians because they're still kind of like new with the internet. They were kind of like the last of the countries to actually get internet, but then they started like took off like crazy.
That's crazy.
There's like a lot of seasonal servers, like Jimao plays a lot of them. Like they would come up and the population is like 3,000 players or something, and they have like a shop,
Malnations.
and you can buy like there's items that function like a rope, shovel, pick, and everything, like a Swiss knife that you can buy for in-game money or for like points on their page, stuff like that. So they have like in-game shop or whatever for some things. Some servers are a little bit more like pay to win, but others are like just a couple of items or whatnot, or premium. But it's very common. People love to jump on those servers, level up, and then like just be in wars, participate in wars.
Yeah.
It's very interesting how some
that's
countries
insane, man.
have like unwritten game preferences in a way. Because I feel like I'm from Poland, and I guess I can speak for Polish people a little bit. We also loved Tibia.
Mutual understanding,
Yeah,
unspoken understanding, mutual. Yeah,
Yeah.
without going into technical.
so we have Tibia, which I believe was very popular in Poland when I was playing World of Warcraft.
Yeah, it was.
Right?
It still is. Actually.
Yeah, and Apogeia has full of Polish players. And there's probably other games like Lineage 2 that was full of Polish. And it's just like certain types of games that we gravitate more towards rather than the other. And possibly Brazilians are exactly the same, right? They like Tibia-like games. Hence, Apogeia is exactly the same. Quite popular with Brazilians. I mean, you are Brazilian, I know, but just like overall, right?
Like we also need to realize the fact that Tibia can be played on a toaster. Like we take
On a
countries
smart
like Brazil
fridge.
or Poland for an example. A couple of like years back, people couldn't afford like some PC setups or whatever.
This
and
is a
Tibia
fucking
was
good
naturally
point,
the game
man.
to play.
This is great point, dude. You're right.
Like
Holy shit.
I would say like I'm from like kind of Swedish ghetto or whatever, and the Tibia was like the main game in our city. Like everyone played it at some point. We would sit like at the internet cafes together and whatever. And I like literally know hands down if some people didn't end up being Tibia nerds or whatever, they would have like overdosed or got into fights and stuff.
Dude, I
So
never
it's kind
made
of
a
been like a kinder.
I never made a connection between the wealth of society and games that they play. This is crazy.
No.
It's so obvious when you actually look at it. Like, of course, like when I was playing World of Warcraft, then like I was attending public schools, and my friends, they were really poor, right? And they could easily
Yeah.
run Tibia.
Yep.
That's why they played it.
And then I had that
Holy
issue
fuck.
actually when Classic came, or not Classic, well, when WoW came originally. I didn't have a PC that could run it.
Yeah.
Like originally, I had to wait like a year, half a year or something, and I actually asked my parents to buy me a PC, and I even like worked summers to get an even better PC to be able to play after Lich King.
When did you guys get your first PC? What age were you?
Oh, like my actual PC, because my dad gave me like a old PC quite
Yeah.
early.
Yeah.
I think it was, but I didn't have the internet either at that point. But like with access to internet and a PC was like around 14, 15, I think.
Okay.
Other than before that, I would spend a lot of time like at internet cafes with friends and stuff. And it's pretty common, like weekends you would be there and you would play all night.
I have
You
a
just pay out.
I have a question for Arieswar, and
Yep.
I'm just very curious. I've been watching you on Discord, playing a bunch of games, and I just want your honest opinion about the games you've played that like are inspired by Tibia. Did you like any of them?
There are some that are piquing my interest. The current thing is like, I think Raven Dawn was doing okay in the beginning, but then it kind of like interest just dried up. I think because it's the way it I don't know, something about it. It seems to be lacking something. Now I've heard that Raven Dawn and Raven Quest are pretty much the same game. It's one is crypto. Now this crypto thing is just creeping in, and people are kind of worried about that kind of thing. And its interest has dropped off. I checked Twitch too. I know Twitch, even normal games, the interest in Twitch has dropped off. Viewership has dropped off, like nosedived or something.
Yeah.
What else? Shoot, let me see. What was that? What was the question again? I can't. You said something.
The games you played that were inspired by Tibia. I saw you playing a lot of games, and I saw like, oh, you're playing a bunch of games that are like inspired by Tibia. And
Yeah. So if I wanted to get away from Tibia, I would play World of Tanks. And right now with World of Tanks, it was kind of my main thing. But then like I other people have noticed the same thing. It's gotten so monetized on World of Tanks that people just gotten tired of it and just stop playing. Because even though I have a lot of invested in it, and I feel like I'm wasting my time on there.
Yeah.
And so people have kind of like dried up, especially during like now it's the summer. Everyone wants to get out and do shit, and yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
It's very often
my
games make me feel like I'm wasting time. It's very rare that I find a game that I want to log in again, really. And I'm playing new MMOs all the time. And yeah.
But that might be because you build like relations and whatever in MMORPGs. You build a character. Like there's a lot of like investment that it gives back a lot because you interact a lot with players. It's a very social. I mean, so it's just being social is like the key point of MMORPGs, right?
Yeah. So a long time ago, see, if you noticed, there was a big update. They added levels to weapons.
Mm.
So this thing was, I actually suggested this a long, long time ago when I think when Tibia was going to become pay to play or become mainstream. One of the ideas, I think it was either before that or after that, I mentioned that you should give levels to weapons, and it was like put on the back burner. So they probably had it like one of their ID, but they finally put it in. I noticed there's been a resurgence in Tibia since the leveling weapons came in back into the game into the Tibia again.
That's kind of
Yeah.
funny because one of my favorite things to do was to skill like a club knight to like 60, 70, whatever, to magic level 4 and be like below level 20 and go PK people with a warhammer. That was like one of my favorite things in Tibia.
There's
Now
like
you can
a
level up weapon individually on the game. You can level up, not you can daggers, everything. Everything had its own little level, apparently.
Yeah.
there's a famous like duo team in Inferno, I think, that
Oh yeah.
they level 2 like knights with club, and they were just killing everyone, gaining levels. They didn't kill a single monster and got to level 30 just doing that.
Yeah.
It's very cool. But
Have
like
you
the
been
reason why I'm asking is like the reason why I'm asking is because I feel like there's a how do I say this? There's a new demand or insurgence in like the Tibia market. And I don't know if I'm like tripping balls or something, but the way I see it is like people have realized that Tibians are kind of homeless right now. And there's a lot of games that are going like, look, it's just like Tibia. Why don't you come give the game a try? It's just like Tibia. And then it's not like Tibia at all because they don't understand what makes a game be like Tibia, right?
They
And
do that on mobile games too. They put like advertisement that's nothing to do with the game itself, just to get interest of people to download it.
yeah,
I
it's kind of
mean,
like a mobile advertisement. Yeah,
Mm.
true.
they want to hit you with the nostalgia, right? And they want to draw you in.
But it's like because it doesn't bother me too much. But the way I see it is like there's a certain usage of the community in a way that is like, oh, they're orphans, they don't have a game to play right now, so check out this game that's just like Tibia, but they don't understand what made Tibia good. And I'm just curious if you share, if any of you share the same feeling I have, in the fact that I don't like modern Tibia. I don't like whatever it represents or any of the things that are in the game because they miss the ballpark. It's not what made the game good. It feels like it's just doing more of the same, more of what any other game is doing, right? I don't know if
Player
any of you agree with me.
Yes, it's player interaction. So before, when you could train just each on each other, just to train skills and stuff like that, there was the um, doing things together, like getting
Yeah.
stronger together. So, but since they removed it, it's just training stuff. It feels like it's like disconnected, you could say, from the
Yeah.
actual game.
Yeah, I
I,
got to level 200 alone. Like I didn't
yeah.
need any help at all. I started playing 2022, and then I spent like 3 months grinding random creatures to level 200. Like I didn't have to meet anyone. I did everything by Action Hall. Other quests I just soloed them. Like I soloed the Behemoth quest. I soloed the Demon Helmet. I soloed like this quest that would require, I don't know, like what, 50 people before, and I just soloed them through like stair hopping or whatever, right? And it's like, I don't know, man. Like I don't understand. I don't get it. Like, how did Tibia become a theme park MMO?
I
And
mean,
do people actually want this? It genuinely like puzzles me a little. I don't know.
it's
It's
I
kind
think it's cost fallacy. So I've heard it's just like a psychology. You put so much time in it before, you hope that future updates that they'll come around and smarten up. And
Mm,
so with Tibia, I think because it's such a tight knit community, especially because it's a small company, CPI's realized that they need to. I think they changed a little bit. So bringing in like quality of life with the weapons, I think was a good choice. So that's why it's a lot of research. People still have hope because they put a lot of time and effort and money into the game. And
mm,
so if they heal people word of mouth that they put the weapons level weapons into things, that kind of draw people back into it. So it's kind of a thing. So hopefully maybe it's resurgent after years of not really following through on people. Just more content. Content is good, but eventually you get tired of new content. They want more quality of life features, make things a little bit easier
Mm.
in certain sense, like
yeah.
easier to do things.
don't
It's
you,
also how they change their business model, right? The monetization, the constant grind, the like being able to buy to progress or whatever.
Yep. Or
I mean,
characters. Now you can buy characters. Yeah, that's the funny thing.
Just
yeah, I mean,
buy your
stuff
character.
is making
Let's
more money now
go.
than before.
That
I
was a big
can't,
thing.
man.
Holy shit. A lot of people didn't like that. But now people said it's in the game, it's there. People just buy characters now. They buy
Yeah,
progress.
It's so
it
stupid.
literally
Come
sounds
on,
what
man.
happened to what happened to World of Warcraft, honestly. Just bunch
yeah,
Oh
of
because you buy
yeah,
gold.
yeah,
There's something
yeah,
called gold DKP, so you basically
yeah,
pay for items in the raids, and you have like a core 10 people, like core players that will do these raids and
true,
take people with no gear, no
true,
experience, drag them through the raid, and they pay with gold for items.
yeah, yeah. Same like now. I don't know if you
couldn't you
guys
like
heard.
buy? Couldn't you buy like an 80, like a level 80 character in World of Warcraft like right away?
No need because there are boosts,
No,
right? You can just They come
Oh.
Yeah,
legally
there's
with the
boost
game.
now. Before, couple like on level 60, 70, I mean, PP people bought characters. My friend, when we were young, we played like Arena to Gladiator, and the mount was really cool back then, and he would get like 500 euros for his account after getting Gladiator one season.
Wow.
So it was a lot of money, like when we were kids back then.
Yeah, I've been
Yeah.
offered a lot of money for my character, Arieswar. A lot of money. Holy shit.
Oh yeah. Exactly, Tibia as well. I saw Tibia characters
Really?
too. Like just level 20 mage or druid like that. I'm mag level at home, and there was a guy at the internet cafe asking me if I
How
had a
much
character.
money? How much money?
And that was
Arieswar?
Arieswar.
Over 100,000.
Oh shit! But you got the legendary name.
But what would they do
Yeah,
with
keep
that
going,
character
Aeikz,
then?
keep going.
Like, what's the point of buying that?
Of buying
I
the
mean,
character, Arieswar?
why do people buy collector items or whatever in real life? Like,
So social status.
it's just people. Yeah, but it's like it's a value. It's like a nostalgic thing. Like, why does like Elvis Presley's socks sell
Yeah.
on markets? People just collecting
People
because
just got money. There's a lot of rich people, a lot of men, but they got all this money just idling. They spend it on stuff. They spend it on mobile games. They get the
Yeah.
like number one. They spend like $1,000. It's nothing. 100,000, nothing. The people that got so much money, they buy it just because they bought the bless shield. They bought the Cyclops sword. They bought the other rare items, or it just the character is just a name, because the name is like for example, PewDiePie used to play Tibia. He actually made
Yeah.
2
Yeah.
videos on YouTube about it.
Do you
The
guys?
history.
I got a question from the chat. Can I read that? Because like I can't answer it. It's for you.
Yeah,
So
sure.
someone asks about your opinion if it is a good idea that Cipsoft would release official Tibia Classic, for example, 7.4 version.
I would play it at least for a little
Yeah,
bit. So
I
that
think
takes me to, there's a lot of good private or OT servers for such things. Like there is some that are still pretty popular, and like they research as well, like new ones opening, whatever. But the Tibia meta and the OT servers are very tied to PvP and like teams. There's a lot of old school teams, so that's kind of the meta. You play on temporary servers where you level up within certain teams used to fight for dominant or whatever. And I'm assuming that's gonna be the same on Tibia official servers if they would release it.
So is 7.4 version kind of like WoW Wrath of the Lich King or Lineage 2 Chronicle 4? Is that what we're talking about?
It's basically one of the most popular versions. Yeah.
Okay.
It's like before. So back then you had to aim with your runes and abilities, like with your mouse, and then they added it to hotkeys.
It wouldn't work, by the way. It just wouldn't work if Cipsoft did it. Like I'd love to hear what Arieswar thinks about it, but I don't think it would work, especially because, well, I'm just gonna say, man, they're greedy. They're greedy.
Yeah.
They're gonna add XP boost. They're gonna add like whatever.
This is what happened with WoW Classic. Absolutely. Yeah. Right now.
Yeah, they're gonna be like, oh, you can buy like a retro retro skin, and give us money, please.
Shit.
Yeah, so it's also once you go down the monetization road, it's hard to go back. There's so much the potential to make so much money off it. It's just hard. It's hard because a lot of people, especially big companies like Ubisoft, they're not big, but they're well established, and their employees are treated very well. The funny thing is, all the profits they made, they split up. Well, obviously the top guys get good, but they also split a lot of their profits, the bonuses, into all their employees. So if they do good, they also get bonuses on top of their salary, which is really good.
Interesting.
So you essentially
but
lost the
I don't think
trust
it
in
would
the
work.
company. Like, just won't work.
It's not really the trust. It's more like, look, you have to understand something. There's a business model that they have been adopting in order to keep the company alive. I'm not blaming them, right? I think it makes sense if you're the kind of person that wants to keep a company afloat rather than make a good video game. He's taking priorities. And this business model requires you to do a bunch of things. One of these things is all the changes they have made in the past 15 years. It's like, oh, we have to make the game more accessible. Okay, reduce death penalty. Okay, we have to get rid of the issues with botting. Okay, just implement botting into the game itself. We have this issue where like people are like exploiting this feature. Well, make the exploitable feature just naturally a mechanic in the game. It's like, you know, all these decisions, they pile up to become the more of the same. It's a generic solution for a business model to keep working. And it has clear rework. They have been in business for like what, 30 years or more?
Since 1997, when it became pay, I think it was like 2000 something when it first became pay to play. I mean, to get a premium count, that was the first thing.
Yeah. So yeah, there you go. It's like it's not exactly a secret what they've been doing. It's just whatever is necessary to keep Cipsoft going. It makes sense. If I had a responsibility to a gigantic company, I would sort of look into solutions that are similar to that. You know, the issue here is that scalability is a bitch, right? You have to measure your steps when you do things like this so that you don't screw it up. And they've done it in a way that they've kept some of their old players and they've gathered new players, but it's just a completely different game. At least I feel like it is.
A lot of the changes were made because they couldn't battle like cheaters, account shares, like bot characters, bot cash. Like people, it's very common on the 7.4 OT that I played. Like there's a Facebook marketplace. People sell gold, they sell characters, gear, everything there.
Yeah,
They take a percentage off every time Tibia coins are traded. That was the big thing for them. I think it's like 7%. I think.
Yeah.
So I mean,
yeah.
we keep seeing new MMOs being launched on the same kind of note. I mean, the whole purpose is to suck your wallet dry. Like I mean, old games turning into that model, that is one thing, but we literally get new games, whether that's from Korea or like whatever, really. They all are there. They are very aggressive when it comes to monetization, and I'm just thinking, what has changed? And also a follow-up question: wasn't Tibia just a product of its time? Like it can't exist again in a way? What do you think?
Can I answer that? Do you guys want to say something?
No, go ahead.
You can answer first.
Have you watched the interview that the CEO did a couple of weeks ago, Bybsie, from Tibia?
No.
He did an interview, and in the interview, he did it in German, and then he did it in English.
Okay.
In the interview, in both versions, he talks about like why he did the game, right? Why he made it. He answers the question, and it's actually a really good answer. The way he answered it was like, we were pioneers, right? There was no such thing as what we were doing, so we just wanted it to exist, and then he did. But then he followed up, like immediately after that, he followed up saying like, and we just did whatever the community told us to do. Like he said that. I don't think. Yeah, okay. He didn't say it verbatim, but he said like, look, as we gather feedback, we changed the game, and the community was like shaping Tibia into what it was.
So when it started in the first year, there wasn't actually real gameplay. It was just like you could walk around and talk to other people, and that's it. But still, people were coming and were interested in it because there was nothing like it. And then we introduced like, okay, let's have some monsters in it. Let's have some weapons when you can fight. Step by step, we introduced more and more features, and I think it was a very healthy way of developing a game, because we always have had constant feedback from the people who were interested in the game, and even in the very early days, there were fans. There was the first small community playing the game, and they loved it. And they gave us feedback all the time, which we took seriously and improved the game together with the community, basically. And so it grew from that. And we were just used to talking to the community all the time and introducing stuff which the community likes, basically.
So there's an answer to your question. The reason why they took all these decisions is because they didn't exactly have a specific vision to what the game was supposed to be. They knew that they wanted to create something that didn't exist, and they wanted to play like, they wanted to play Ultima Bot Online. That was their words, not mine. And they wanted a MUD to have graphics rather than just be text. I don't know if you guys know what MUD is.
The old MMO, right?
Yeah, MUD is like multiplayer user dungeon, right? It's like
I think so.
No, wait, I think I'm saying this wrong. It's like it's just text-based multiplayer dungeon crawling, right? Back in the 90s, that it was common to have that as a multiplayer game. Either way, they wanted to have graphics, but there was no such thing, so they made Tibia. And then instead of having a solid vision for the game, they just shaped into what the community wanted it to be. And I guess that kind of explains it, right? So they kept going because it worked first, so they just did it again, and they kept going, and then the game kept mutating and changing until it became what it is now.
So what you're saying is
Does
that
that make sense?
they lacked vision, and so the players filled in the void for them.
The players, the community was involved in the process of developing the game highly. In the beginning, a lot of map players were actually being hired within CIP soft, like Nightmare. He wasn't hired, but he was hired after. Gilda was one of the gods, but he was also hired too by CIP to be the enforcer. And a lot of the map makers got employed by CIP soft. You had to live in Germany though. That was the key.
I think a lot of inspiration came from Ultima Online too. Like, not everything, but a lot. Like, I remember some sprites struck me so vividly. Like, I played Ultima Online as my first MMORPG when I was like 13, and then 12 I think I was, and then Tibia at 13.
Okay.
The ability of the players to affect the environment of their game, to interact it, to improve, or make it better or worse, was a key for Tibia, I believe, even today. So interaction with the environment, so not like the straight slate kind of thing, but you could do things that maybe can affect the world. Maybe prove an event that will cause certain monsters in certain areas to get more XP, more drops, or rare drops that only appear during certain events. It's like world building. It's kind of hard, so they kind of did their way. It was a little bit like lesser on a scale, but they listened to the players. So a lot of players complain about certain things, and they changed it. And I found that CIP stuff, even though they're slow, they do the monetization. I don't quite agree with it. I can understand it, but sometimes they do too much of it, I think. But it is what it is.
Okay, I have follow up to that. So you said that the publishers of Tibia, the OG Tibia, they lacked vision, so players told them what Tibia should be, and it turned out the way it is, right? So do you think that represents the actual issue of designing by committee, so-called mind hive, or the actual representation of what most players want from the games nowadays?
It depends when they do surveys. So they did a lot of surveys. They still do surveys to get questions about people's thoughts. And then they would other questions, surveys. They did surveys every week, I believe. I seem to remember, like, sorry, you want this to come in? Like, what should be the next big thing? And they kind of they figured over time. It took them a long time. They're starting to figure it out. That when you have to be smart of how do you approve certain players' ideas. You have to be like not too powerful, not too weak, something that's worth their time and effort. So I guess it's like it took them a while. They made a lot of mistakes. I'm hoping that maybe the next few updates they'll improve on what Tibia should be becoming, what you can do to keep players interested.
Yeah. They do take a lot of feedback in consideration, but the thing is, you have to remember, bro, and I think that's what differs. Um, that's the difference between what I think Apogeia is about and what Tibia is about. Is that we have a solid vision. We think that Tibia peaked in old school. So when people suggest things, we take it with a filter, with not with a grain of salt, like not like, oh, your opinion doesn't matter, but rather like we have to filter it. We have to filter the suggestion so that the game doesn't stop becoming what it is about, right? It needs a vision. Without it, the game gets watered down very quickly because like sometimes what the general public wants isn't what the thing is about. We have seen this everywhere. We have seen this in media, in video games, in movies, in politics, in countries. And you know, like this reverberates throughout in the entire society, because once something gets popular or once something gets outvoted,
Idea. And
yeah,
once an idea gets popular, it's hard to kill an idea.
yeah. So it's like let's take something random, for example, like I don't know, League of Legends. Like League of Legends is completely different from what it was because it got way too popular. It got way too popular. So now there's K-pop in League of Legends.
What?
Now there's like I don't know, fucking Dr. Mundo is like dancing K-pop. It's stuff like that, you know. And I don't think that's what Morello wanted. You know, I don't think Morello had in mind that the company was supposed to be sold to Tencent, and then a bunch of K-pop stars were supposed to be added in his game about monsters and rocks, right? So this is a phenomenon that happens everywhere. It happened with World of Warcraft. It happened with Final Fantasy. It happened with League of Legends. It happened with Tibia. And it will happen with other games as well, as long as they get popular and outvoted. So sometimes you must be wrong, in quote unquote, so that you can keep your thing afloat. What made it great in the first place, right? I don't know if I'm speaking gibberish or if you guys understand what I'm trying to say.
No, I understand it
Oh,
perfectly.
it makes sense.
Could you then explain to me how will you, and you partially answered, but I just want a full answer. How will you prevent Apogeia from becoming another Tibia?
Yeah, I think through that, you know, there's like what Sipsoft, like I said, like what Sipsoft did is they prioritized their company over their game, and it makes sense. You know, it makes sense in a business point of view, but it doesn't make sense in an artistic point of view. You have to
They
give
develop their
priority to
team
art.
first. They develop their team. That's what you're talking about. They're developing their team. So that's
Yeah.
what they put a lot of resources into developing their graphics. They took them a long time though. They did it from scratch.
Yeah, exactly. It's like imagine you're put into a situation where like, hey guys, this our like entire company of like 50 plus people, we're gonna have to take a little salary cut because my artistic vision. Like, do you guys have the balls to do that? To like get into a room of 50 people and say, hey, all of your salaries are gonna get cut because of my artistic vision.
Yeah.
You know, that's the decision they had to do. So when you don't have that I just you didn't create the scenario where you have to get into a room with 50 plus people and tell them they're losing money, then things get a little easier to, you know, to decide. And in my the way I see it is like Apogeia has the advantage of being very, very small. That's it. That's the only advantage we have. So that we can make decisions that are quote unquote crazy, that no executive would ever do, right?
Yeah, it
Well,
seemed interesting, like with the monetization part. I mean, World of Warcraft did it well since it also grew so big. They
Yeah.
generated a lot of money simply purely
Yep.
on subscription, on the
You know,
subscription model before
you
they
know another
even
game.
introduced the shop.
Yeah, you know another game that did it really well too.
Tibia.
Path of Exile.
Oh,
mhm.
oh
Because
yeah, with the
here's what they
MTX.
did. Yeah, they got bought out by Tencent, and then Tencent was like, "You need to make a video game that is in the patterns, in you know, in the way we wanted." And then instead of changing Path of Exile, they made Path of Exile 2. You know,
Yeah.
simple.
I think it's you can't really argue that companies, whether they build games or shampoos, all right, they all exist for profit. And with that said, making profit is already a risky task. I mean, you have to reinvest, money to, on an off chance that it won't work out. So
Mm.
if you keep that in mind, and then on top of that, I know how companies generally handle internal feedback from employees, as in what we should do next, what to improve, etc. I find that creative people are just overall not the best salespersons, and presenting an idea in front of stakeholders that have money invested in business and that make decisions what to do next is extremely difficult for them, which in turns make it difficult to get a buy-in from those people. So at the end of
Mm.
the day, sales is the department that rules the company rather than design department. And yeah, it's literally a confluence of issues that make game companies the way they are right now. And that's why I asked about Apogeia, because if we know about the potential problem, a danger that exists ahead of us, ahead of Apogeia,
Mm.
we can like work, against it to avoid it, right? So that's why I really asked the question. I just want to understand the background where you're coming from on that. That's all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The way I see it is like, some people don't see this as a problem. They just see as the natural progression of video games, right? And they're not wrong either, because if you think about it, if people were like, if people were mad enough, game developers would change. They would change overnight, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, we are so incredibly mad that some online games are dying, that over 1 million people in Europe signed the petition to change it.
Yeah.
Right? But they're not mad enough that in-app purchases in MMORPGs exist, because there's no petition for that. There's no online movement for that. You know what I mean? So like, some people think that this is natural. It's just the way it is, But I think that it's not what I think actually. It's I don't care. I don't care what anyone thinks. Like, I'm just gonna do what I think is right, and if it doesn't work, well, whatever, Because I think that's how anyone should operate. We should just do what we think, what our brains tell us that is the cool thing to do, and then we do it, and then we don't think about whether or not it's gonna work. Right? Do it first, then you say, "Oh, that didn't work," and then
Yeah,
move
sure.
on.
I think also it has a lot to do with passion and like who the companies hire. Like if you just hire someone outside from the from before the idea or the passion, whatever. Not everyone like actually feels as highly of the game they're making. Then
Yeah.
like how good example, like early Blizzard when Warcraft came, before World of Warcraft, Starcraft, all those games like were it's just smaller, highly more passionate teams, like the original team, whatever. Slowly but steadily, all of the big shots have left Blizzard,
Yeah.
and they get bought up by EA or Activision or whatever,
Yeah.
and it all comes down to the monetization model or whatever. It doesn't become like what cool content can we do, like how can we make money on this.
Literally, it's the only question they ask in the boardroom.
Like I ask myself, like how the fuck Final Fantasy, like the first ones, like they OST everything about the game. Like I don't understand. It has so much content, like so
Yeah.
much playtime on it, and it wasn't like even a hefty sum for the game itself. And he has replayability because you can play different characters and whatever. So it's just stuff like that. It boggles my mind compared to games today, pay early access, all kind of different monetization models,
When you
and then
say
you
Final
push out the game
Fantasy,
before it's even done.
do you mean Final Fantasy 14?
Nah, I mean the older ones, but I mean
okay.
Final Fantasy 14 is also a pretty good game.
Okay.
I
Yeah,
mean
I
all
played
the
that
like
too.
all the games that came in the 90s or early 2000s, whatever.
Okay. I never played them, honestly.
Like Age of Empires, for example.
Yeah.
Like holy crap,
That was
that game
amazing.
has resurged as well,
Loved it. Yeah.
and they push out DLCs now and
Mhm.
new civilizations,
Yeah.
and the
By
game
the
is
way,
very alive.
funny fact about user feedback and how, we just talked about how players let Tibia, players dictated what to do with Tibia. I've been playing RuneScape since yesterday, okay? Like, and whatever you think of me, you can judge me if you want. But I've been playing RuneScape, and I learned there's this thing called polling system inside the game. I never seen this in any game, and it literally, like, when you in IRL you vote for president or whatever, and you have polling stations. In this game, in RuneScape, you have polling stations, and it looks exactly like ballot box. It just you click it, and it opens up a window where you have player initiatives put up for voting, and people vote what they want to happen in the game next. It's very interesting.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Very nice.
Yeah, he has that has a potential of backfiring really, really hard. Right.
Yes.
I explained how. It's very simple. It's like
Alright.
the thing gets popular, and then the mainstream audience who doesn't understand what the thing is popular, like why the thing is popular, gets in the thing, and then they vote for the thing to be more like what they want, and then the thing ceases to become the thing. I just remember another thing that recently happened that made me like want to rip my skin off and fold it like a blanket,
Oh no.
which was like Game of Thrones, the series, right?
Oh shit.
Oh,
The
shit.
ending.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I got a good explanation for that. So what happened? So the guy Gabriel, or whatever his name is, the writer for the books. So
Yeah.
he was like he was taking his time. That's how he made books good. He took his time making each novel. But the problem, these two show creators, they're good at cutting script and making a story out of existing material, but they suck at storytelling. They really suck. I mean, after I think it was like when they got to I think it was like series 7, series 8, they ran out of material, and so they're asking him to like give them ideas what what was going to happen in the future, and he's not that type to be fast, because you do not, in order to be good you have to take your time, right? So these guys they don't have a lot of patience, so they kind of like they screwed themselves in the foot. They made it so popular. They want a tight schedule, so they were you could find like series 7 it was like it was okay, but then series 8 like kind of crashed and everything, so I saw the writing on the wall. That's why I knew what was going to happen, because I didn't even bother watching Game of Thrones. I watched a few. I thought how popular it was, but I remember the books, and so it's you can understand my feeling about it. I didn't like it.
Yeah, the thing is like what happened with Game of Thrones is if you've like, when I read the books, I read all the books, and then I stopped at the same book that everyone stopped and didn't conclude the series. And then I watched the series, and then I knew exactly when they ran out of ideas. I can pinpoint it. It's exactly when Jon Snow died.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the exact point. I was like, oh, there it is. They ran out of ideas. They don't know what to do. But then, look, that's the thing. They were like, all right, like what does the public want to see? hello public, what do you want to see Game of Thrones become? And then the public was like, oh, I want Daenerys to be a slay queen, and then so they did that. And I think that's like, I don't know, the way I see it is like, whenever you outsource it to the general public, to whatever the thing needs to be like, you run into that risk. And sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't, right?
Yeah.
Because if you lack vision, like the writers for the show did, this can happen, right?
When you create a survey, you have to put it in the framework of what you can do at the moment, not what too much of one good thing can be bad for you.
Yeah.
Someone in the chat said that when you let the general public decide, you just get average, kind of like with AI. Kappa. Right.
That's a good analogy.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. I mean, AI overall is a statistical model, so there will be most average stuff in it, and it will be trained on that average stuff, so it kind of makes sense. And yeah, absolutely. I think like when it comes to Game of Thrones, they got I believe it that at least that they got tired creatively. They've been building the same shit for 10 years, and I bet some of those like people behind the cameras, they were like really eager to move on to the next project. I don't know. Like when you work on the same shit for long enough, you kind of burn out. And that's why they probably ask for people for ideas, because they just didn't want to even have any.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I interrupt something? It's a good
Yeah, go
analogy.
ahead.
Just reminded me of. Okay, you remember the Lord of the Rings, the trilogy, the movie series, right?
Of course.
Yeah.
Do you know why it was so popular? Why it did so well?
Yeah, I do.
There was no DEI in it.
Well, the main reason Peter Jackson was the smart. He did the smart thing. He did everything at once. So for 3 years, he filmed the entirety of the trilogy of the Lord of the Rings in the same theme, the same thing, the same connections. And then it took him a few years to script it all together, and extra scenes here and there. But that's why it did so well. He did it all at once.
Yeah, it was one guy at the helm with a vision, and just drove it from back to back.
I have to show you this Arieswar. Have you seen the clip from the Peter Jackson production team making the chainmail for the Lord of the Rings?
You can post it. I might have glanced at it, but you can post it.
It is unbelievable, bro. It's unbelievable. You know what they did? They didn't have a machine. They didn't have like a costume team. What they had instead were two dudes in a room putting the fucking rings manually with a little tool for 2 entire fucking years.
What the fuck?
God damn.
Dude.
Yeah. And then there's a famous like scene where it's like people are going out for Christmas. They're like, hey guys, it's Christmas, let's go out and do this and do that. And then the chainmail dudes are sitting in the room and they go like, no, we have to finish the chain. We have to finish the chainmail, guys, sorry. And then they stay there and everyone leaves.
The only difference between our background and our hero costumes for our goblins are pretty much as the hero lightweight chainmail, which was conceptually thought and designed and produced for this particular film. It's a chainmail that's 1/5 the weight of steel, so the character's able to wear the costume for a long period of time without feeling any fatigue from any exhaustion or weight.
Well, this is chainmail, lots of it. This is a Moria Orc suit that I'm working on at the moment. There's 13,000 rings in one of these suits when it's finished, and it takes approximately 3 days to make up one of these suits. Some of the other suits are considerably more because the mail is a lot finer.
Here I am putting together plastic rings and I love it. Absolutely mad as a meat axe, but I love it.
And for me, it's been about 5 months of non-stop. Just the calluses on the ends of the fingers. But we'll get there.
Welcome to the bubble.
Welcome to the bubble.
This has been our home for what, the last year?
2 years.
No, we only had the bubble for about a year.
And the hostage.
Oh, and the hostage, yes, we can't forget the hostage. He still hasn't coughed up his secrets.
This is 5 million rings that we've put together, which is 10 kilometres worth of chainmail if every ring was stood on its edge. The only reason we know this is because the amount of materials that we've ordered through the supplier comes to 10 kilometres worth. There's twice as much chainmail as ever was originally asked for. And you can imagine how we felt when all of a sudden all these stunties are wearing chainmail at Helm's Deep and giving it absolute death. And sort of standing there thinking, well, I hope it all holds together, because it was never originally planned to do that. And so far it has.
Dude, the guy's
And it's-
job title is chain mail technician. This is
Yeah.
the coolest job title you can have, dude. Put it on LinkedIn, man.
And it's fucking insane. It's absolutely insane. So I think that's the reason why the movie was so much better. It's because I think everyone involved, and I don't know if you guys understand like how insane the Lord of the Rings movie is, but it's like they went after one of the main guys that illustrated the Lord of the Rings books, and then they went after him. They were like, we want you to work for the movie, and then he did a bunch of concepts for the movie, and everyone was extremely passionate about it, you know. So they made decisions that were absolutely crazy and insane and not tangible at all in order to make it happen, right?
Oh, they're making the Walmart version of Lord of the Rings now from the beginning. Oh god.
Exactly. And it's like you get the new series, like, well, how is it called? I refuse to acknowledge that it exists. On a daily
Rings
basis.
of Power.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, I haven't watched it.
Aberration. That thing doesn't exist, bro. Like, what? You can just throw money into things. That's not how it works.
Yeah,
You
this
have
is
to have
beautiful.
people who are actually passionate about it and just want the thing to exist.
I've
for
been
real.
watching Lord of the Rings every other year on Christmas. That's just like me and my partner's tradition. And I never knew that about chainmail. Honestly, it just you just make this movie sound better and better. It's like honestly,
There's
great.
so much shit.
it's
You
crazy.
have never seen the back. How do they call it? Like backstage, back.
Yeah,
You know, the production
making
stuff.
of, yeah.
The logistics.
Yeah, the making of, yeah, which is like there's so much stuff. Like the people who made the movie together, they became friends.
Yeah,
But like after the movie ended.
Family event. They were like literally family.
I
Yeah.
mean, Virgo, the guy who played Aragorn, he bought the horse, right? The one that he was
Yeah.
riding in the movie. He literally bought it. Just got it home.
Yeah,
And
have
he,
you ever
he bought
seen
a horse for
the?
stunt. One of the stunt doubles as well.
You know, and he said,
Have you ever seen the Wear Wigs interview? That's a classic one.
No.
Episode, but
You never seen the Really Wear
Oh
Wigs?
yeah. When they told him.
telling us things that we need to know.
That was second. That's just like a backstage Lord of the Rings thing. It's like they did like a fake interview with Elijah Wood, where it's like he's pretending to be a German journalist, and then he keeps asking him about wigs. and
What the
it's
fuck? No,
very
I need
funny.
to. No, I have to Google it.
In the photo shoots you do with Vogue magazine and Cosmopolitan and Entertainment Weekly, Time magazine, your hair changes dramatically from short to long. Do you wear wigs?
No, I do not.
Have you worn wigs?
No, I have not.
Will you wear wigs?
Maybe.
When will you wear wigs?
I never heard it.
Let me find the video.
There's so much material. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
So I had someone in the chat saying the problem with that is that they don't have rights to the entire IP. This is to do with Rings of Power. So yeah, that is they don't have rights to the entire IP. In my opinion, they make it up well enough, but it's not true to the material for sure. So they're doing their best with what they have. This is essentially the essence of that message.
Yeah, but the question you must always ask yourself for everything you do is why? Why, bro? Like, do you guys think honestly that Tolkien, a guy that made a book, that made like 2 books, right? 2 gigantic books, talking about the dangers of the industrialization would agree with Amazon? Do you, like, for real? Like, why? Why are you making this show? Like, if the answer is money, then it's not a good answer, right?
Sure. Yeah.
That's the thing. Like,
You have to, like-
Tolkien made sure to put the messaging of all of his works against industrialization, and then the industry picked up his works and made a show that has nothing to do with what it's about, because the public really needs it. The public voted.
But if I remember correctly,
modern audience treatment. So what happened with Space Star Wars, for example? I love Star Wars. My nephew loves Star Wars, and my sister's kids love Star Wars. They would Star Wars everything, like the trilogy. They bought the trilogy, everything. Then when Disney took over, it was okay at first. The first two.
Yeah, they were fine.
They were okay. Like the bridging one, I think it was Rebel something or Rebel One. Rogue One.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Rogue
Then
One.
after that, after they started to make the new series, it just bombed. And like people and my cousin, no one talks about Star Wars anymore.
Yeah,
because
true.
they destroyed it was generational.
True.
It was like connection. Like every series, every episode connected between before the movies when it came out.
Yeah.
And they were the gems. And so what's happened, they didn't realize it. So they modernized it for the modern audience and destroyed the IP. That's what happens when you have to. People who gives out their IP, the owners or the families or whatever, they have to be careful. If you do it, you get lots of money, but then in the process, they destroy the IP, and no one will. They destroy the business, and like no one wants anything. No, the royalties, everything. They just get tired of it.
So,
I think one of the things Rings of Power did as well was they fired one of the Tolkien historians off the project and just put some fucking random person
Really,
there.
they did that? That's crazy.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, I think we can probably Google it, but I'm pretty sure I read that like quite early when it was about to come.
I agree. Like I would give them the benefit of the doubt that they tried. Like, of course they did. There's so much money involved. Wasn't the budget like $1 billion or something?
It's
Like
insane.
literally $1 billion.
I will Google it up.
And look, like for sure, they probably tried their hardest. They hired a lot of talented people. They hired talented actors. They did a bunch of like research, and they took inspiration, and they went into in the Netherlands to capture the same emotion. Like, I'm sure they did all of that. But when you don't have actual real passion towards something, and the only driving factor is making money, then things like they get wobbly, they get fragile, they can shapeshift very quickly, right? Because it's just like a question of why not. That it's the same. There is a game design principle that is very famous among the game developer community, which is called feature creep, right? Feature creep is like when someone suggests something, you go, okay, why not? Let's add it. Why not?
I know it too well.
And then you keep
working
doing
with
that.
Clients. Jesus.
Right? You keep doing that. You keep like, well, why not? Why not? Why not? Why not? And then you keep adding a bunch of things, and quickly your project becomes like this gigantic pile of things you can never complete. But not only that, but sometimes there's one thing that was suggested there, which you made it in an afternoon, that simply doesn't fit the project. And it actually it doesn't fit so much that it's going to ruin the project, and you didn't think about it because you have no real guidelines for your idea, right? I talked about this before, that if anyone here ever tried making a video game, you must have heard before that ideas are useless. That what matters is actually doing the thing, right?
Execution, yeah.
Yeah, execution is all that matters. And after making games for like 10 years, I actually disagree with this. Because, okay, if execution is all that matters, then you just do whatever. And you have no real guidelines. And you have no real idea of what you're doing. So you just keep doing, and you keep doing, oh, I fucked it up. You know? Like, you have to have a set of thoughts into why you're doing the thing before you do it. Before actually putting your hands in there and doing it. Sure, if you don't know anything and you're a beginner and you don't understand how to even start making something, just do whatever. Yeah, that makes sense. But after that, after a year or two, you have to start thinking. You have to step back and be like, should I make this? Yes or no, and why? Right? And I think this is a general problem in media, in movies, in series, in books, in games, in everything. Everything you can think of is this is a present problem.
So
Sorry, I
Isn't
went
that the
no,
right-
this is good. Can I follow up to that?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Do you? So I'm thinking that this might depend on the context. I don't know. So here's my thinking. What you said as we were talking, I immediately thought of the chicken and egg situation. How many people
Yeah.
wake up and have idea what to do with their life, but that never materializes, right? So it's like
Yeah.
execution is like inseparable part of having an idea. But you can't execute if you don't have an idea why you're executing it.
No.
or So
What I'm trying to say is, why are you executing? You have to answer this question, bro, in life, in everything you do. Why are you doing the thing?
yeah.
If
true.
if you cannot answer that, you must evaluate. You must evaluate. Why are you going to work? Like, what is the reason?
Yeah,
I have to pay the bills.
I get that.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Very, very nice. Why am I making a video game? Like, why are you making a video game? You have to answer that. If you can't answer that, you're just doing things mindlessly, like a robot.
Without direction.
You have to answer it. That's the artist's sin. That's the biggest dilemma an artist have is why must he create this art specifically and not another one? Like, what is the reason? You know? And oftentimes it's a personal thing. It doesn't resonate with a lot of people. It doesn't. Oftentimes it doesn't resonate with society. But it's something that you must answer. Even if the answer is terrible, even if it sounds like bullshit, you must answer the question. So the reason is, like, why must you answer the question? Because then you know what you're doing and you're not gonna slip and do something stupid because peer pressure, because zeitgeist, because I was sick, because I had to, because I need money or whatever. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think the quality of the answer to the why is very important. And it will determine how long you're gonna commit to, and if it's like a short-lived idea.
Anything is better than not answering, right?
Exactly, and so it calls for an honest answer. For example, I believe why people don't really keep up with their, let's say, gym routine is because they have a very shallow why, right?
Yeah.
Because it's
Yes.
just the look. I want to look good on the beach, but that's not really a good why, is it? Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're right.
It's
yeah.
not. Like,
you have to look in
the
the
reason
mirror
why
when
I go to the
answering that.
gym is to get healthier.
Yeah.
And
Live
I can
longer,
feel
whatever.
it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I can feel it. I go like, oh, I'm feeling healthier. I'm feeling better. I'm not feeling like shit anymore. So I keep going to the gym. Does it suck? Yes, but I keep going.
Someone in the
And-
chat suggested it's like
No pain, no gain.
kind of no pain, no gain. So what the guy in the chat suggests is that it's like a comparison greater to less. Okay, so how many people can execute is the largest group, and then you have middle group. How many people can ideate, and then the least of people can actually know why they're doing things. So in other words, like most people are the builders, and only a few of them are the idea givers, the visionaries, right? And that's, I guess, I think that's just state of
Look,
the matter.
there's a misconception, and I think this is a misconception in a broader scale, into what ideas encapsulate. I think ideas are not, they're not Boolean. They're not true or false. They're not like, I have an idea or I don't have an idea. I think ideas are a gradient, a huge gradient. You can have an idea that's very, very bad and simple and bare bones and has no real value. And you can have an idea that is actually pretty good because you encapsulate a lot of things into that idea. Let me give you an example. if you were building a house, okay, and you need a architecture project, when the architect is making the project, what he's putting in the paper and structuring out is an idea, because he is like processing all of the variables that would go into how to do the thing. Video games are no different. When you're structuring out how to develop a video game, you need to take into account all of the variables, and the best ideas take into account how long the game is going to take. What kind of marketing are we going to do? Who should we hire? What kind of talents are in there? What kind of artistic style should we follow, which fits with the zeitgeist? What kind of gameplay should it have, and why? What slice of the market are we filling up? Which kind of philosophies are we gonna follow when developing the game? All these things are ideas, right? If you think ideas are like a story, once there was a world where a bunch of people were born and then there was a war, like, yeah, sure, like that's just a story. The idea, or a good idea rather, is it encapsulates way more stuff, right? Way more stuff. And you can call this something else. You could call it like, I don't know, like a GDD. You can call it a project. You can call it like a block out of what the game is, whatever. It's still an idea. It's a collection of ideas. It's an encapsulation of what the whole thing should be like, right? And the idea guy, in my view, is no different from a game designer. But we put the pejorative term of idea guy to someone who's not experienced in game design, and the ultra game designer, the holy grail of game designer, to someone who has a lot of experience. And even sometimes this guy is not really great at ideas. Sometimes he's just really good at recycling things, right? Let me put this into a bit of perspective. What differs famous IPs, like, I don't know, like Mickey Mouse or Mario, from an IP that I draw right here, right now in my stream in like 15 minutes? Like, what's the tangible difference? The actual real difference between these two? I don't think Walt Disney took a lot of time drawing Mickey, right? He probably did it in an afternoon.
Do you mean like so when you ask, do you mean like the popularity of it, or what was the measure here?
What's the measure? It's like what's the difference? Like why are famous IPs famous? Why is Pokemon so prevalent? So why doesn't it fucking go away? Why doesn't it go away? Stop talking about Pokemon. I'm just kidding. Like, why? Why is Pokemon so famous?
We love Pokemon. I think so. When Pokemon originally launched, or Mickey Mouse, they weren't popular at all. So the reason why I said time is because time has made it popular. There was like compounding interest.
Why did time treat Pokemon so well?
Okay.
Then let's go there. Okay.
No, they're fucking good. I don't know.
Yeah, but why are they good?
Okay.
It's a very hard answer. It's a very hard question to answer, right? Because it's not simple. Like, ideas are valuable because that's an idea. The guy who was like, okay, what if I did some mishmash of psychology where you capture monsters and there's like these balls and whatever, you know?
Yeah.
Like, the person who came up with that had a good idea. That's what I'm trying to say.
I guess
is that we devalue ideas. We devalue ideas because we can't understand that brightness can just come like that. It can just spark like that. It is a harsh reality, but it's true.
There's also the portion of the fact that products, games, ideas they also need to happen at the right moment in time, right? Like, you can't have WoW 2004 again today. It was a product of its own time. Yeah.
Also, but the thing is, maybe WoW World of Warcraft was famous because it took advantage of zeitgeist, or they were pioneers in the genre or whatever.
They
But
were
at the
way ahead
same
of their
time,
time.
oh, sorry, what?
They were ahead of their time. Like
Yeah, they were ahead of their
whatever.
time, like an early YouTuber, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who can stay afloat because he just started early. Like, sure, like that could be a reason.
They
But
also had a really like good lore behind it. This,
Yeah.
like previously in their IP, like
Yeah, but
it
at
made
the
it
same
into a
time,
big world.
do you think it's impossible for someone else to take advantage of the current zeitgeist? It's just a formula, right? I'm not saying something stupid, right?
No.
If
No,
they
no.
took advantage of the current zeitgeist, why can't we take advantage of the current zeitgeist? We have a tendency in modern times to say, wait, everything's backwards. Let's go back and look into the 90s and the 80s and just recreate that.
Mhm.
Because we're so incredibly I'm not saying I'm not, by the way. I am. I am incredibly lost into what exactly works and why. Which is why I'm like so adamant or so prolific into trying to understand this, because we keep going back and saying like, okay, why did this work? Like how? And then we go back and then we recreate whatever happened in the 80s and the 90s, trying to adapt it for modern times.
Yeah,
right?
context matters.
And people keep going back too. Like there's old school RuneScape, there's old school World of Warcraft, and people keep going back to the old games, and there's something going on, right? I don't know exactly what it is, but
I mean, a lot of the part is like nostalgia. It reminds you of a good time. You had a good
nostalgia is
time,
a
whatever.
bitch, right? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but it's also the simplicity of it. Like,
I guess.
That's why, you know what?
I guess it could be
What was the
nostalgia.
question I asked when we started the conversation? Is it literally?
Oh my god, I don't know.
Yeah, is
I
literally
don't
what
know.
made Tibia good? Like, why did you play it for 20 fucking years?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like when we start asking whys around that, and we get to the core, maybe we will have some kind of an answer, you know. But it's tough.
that's where
not
we
to
have
cry.
Arieswar.
Oh yeah, Arieswar, why don't you take the stage, okay?
And
it's okay.
did you see the Antica documentaries, Bybsie?
No, I haven't. Should I?
Yeah, you should.
You should, yeah, you
You
should.
should watch them.
You link it.
Oh, what's
if
up?
You can.
No, we're talking about the documentaries about Antica, and where you were like a big part of that as well. Like it's the stories. There's a lot of.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was
It's a
two,
relation.
do you have the link?
Wait, you never watched it, Arieswar?
No, I have watched it, but I haven't watched it in a while. It's been a
Oh,
while
okay.
since I watched it.
Okay.
You're like a main protagonist in the.
There you go.
There was also the one that PewDiePie did about his. There's two videos he did about Tibia.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember those where he was like,
Really?
I used to bot in the hot worms in the Russia.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Oh, there it
I
is.
think I
Yeah.
got him.
Yeah.
I have to ask you one thing, Arius. Do you remember that there used to be like a lady living in Khazar-dûn? She had like a guild. She had a lot of people surrounding her. She lived like in the nobility quarters, just one floor below the emperor. I can't remember her name, but we kind of got under her wing when we were like 14, and my friend like ripped off a picture of two girls on the net and said that it was us, and we played there for like 2 months or something. We only hit 20, and then we got like busted and kicked out of the group.
Shit.
Wait, was that
I
in
can't
Antica?
remember. Yeah, it was Antica. So there was like a lady, I think she was like 40, 50 something, and she lived in Khazar-dûn, and she was very famous. She had a big following, a big guild.
Yeah, she was a
She had a
dwarven
house.
lady or something, wasn't she?
Yeah. I have like the name on my tongue, but I can't remember. But she had a
There was
guild
also
there.
like a former Wolfenschilden too. I believe in Kaz too. Yeah.
I think this was around 2003 to 2004, something like that.
Yeah, early 2000.
Yeah.
Someone.
But it was great. Like there's so many great guilds on Antica. It's crazy. Like the groups there.
So Antica was a
It was a
server?
little bit more RP. Yes.
There was
like
also the
original.
famous Hong Kong group too, that KOK. That in the early days of Tibia, they were a PK guild, but we kind of put up a defense. So in Theus, that's the main city in Tibia, you could actually raise the drawbridge. You hit a switch, and the drawbridge would retract. And so
what
we
did you
guarded
say?
the switch and everything, and we tried to keep them out. We kept them out successfully for about a month, and they kind of gave up a bit. But then they removed, then Microsoft removed the switches, so we can't access them anymore.
Someone in the chat said nostalgia is a hell of a drug. Do you guys think nostalgia can be anything more than just the fucking 1 week flashback trip? Can it be like a trigger for long-term experience in a classic game, or is it like literally a bitch and that's it?
It can be if it's applied properly in the proper context, and you also have future growth, perhaps, or as a thing, something to remember. So like, it could be anything. Yeah, it can be done if it's done correctly.
Yeah. So to me, nostalgia trip, which lasted for a while, was WoW Season of Discovery, right? It is, it is a reboot of the game I know from the childhood, and it actually stuck around. And then you have Lineage 2, LU4. This is like a Russian team that's been rebuilding Lineage 2 from the ground up for the past 20 years.
Yes.
Right? And is actually caught up on popularity like crazy. They're like, there's so many people playing this, thousands. So clearly nostalgia can be a trigger. But as you said, if executed well, people can actually like reignite that long-term passion for a title, for a game, beyond nostalgia, right?
Wasn't when Lineage 2, one of the old developers helped them a little bit with the system that they were trying to figure out, and they got they didn't get everything, but got some old code. I don't know if it was Lineage 2 or another game. They helped him rebuild the old thing because it was pretty much a dead IP, pretty much.
Oh, I don't know about that. It's very interesting. If this is true, that's a very interesting fact. I'll have to Google that.
I don't know if it was Lineage 2. I think I thought it was, or another game in particular that they found the old. Oh, yeah. Also on Steam, they updated the Half-Life 2, so they're doing continuous work on it again.
What the hell? Really?
Holy shit!
What?
But I mean, Age of Empires 2 is one of those stories. Like they made the first what was it? I don't remember what they call it, but another edition that it would run better on today's PC, and now they made the definitive version or whatever. And it's
so
like
Steam, that's another thing. The Steam guys who made Half-Life 2, they've gone back and they're RTXing the entire thing. They're updating and making it a free update for people who owned Half-Life 2. And
That's great.
for new people who want to get back into it, they're doing a bunch of things. Like it's a project. Hopefully, it'll be released soon. They've been releasing updates occasionally, but yeah, it's certainly a project that Gabe has been behind to keep. I guess he's getting older, so he kind of like, as a thank you they're doing it for free apparently. But if people want to buy into it, that's fine too.
That's cool.
Yeah. I said I'm playing RuneScape for the past 2 days, and ever since I played yesterday, like literally created a character, played for a few hours, and then quit to play Dune Awakening with friends. And for the duration of playing Dune Awakening, I kept thinking about RuneScape. And you know what that reminded me of? It reminded me of Apogeia. It's literally the same way I felt about playing Apogeia the first playtest. So someone in the chat asked me right now, how do I enjoy RuneScape experience so far? And I'm playing the old school RuneScape. And to me, this is 10 out of 10, dude. And it's such a, in a way, crude game. But it's challenging to a point where you don't want to give up. It actually keeps you intrigued and on your toes enough so that you actually want to continue playing. It's literally what Apogeia was to me. So to answer the question from YouTube, absolutely I enjoy RuneScape, and on that note, I can't wait Apogeia when. Okay, thank you. Yes. When do we get Apogeia?
Yeah, but that's learning curve.
Yeah.
Engagement, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's exactly what Arieswar said. It's like
Yeah,
keeping the community engaged is very important, right?
yeah.
I actually like one thing that I was thinking about when people told me like, oh, like Apogeia gave me the feeling of like talking with people again and things like that. And the thing is that when we were designing the game, we didn't intend for that to happen, right?
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. Because what we did is all we did is we said we want to recreate the old school formula. And then I studied a lot on how to do that. And you know, it's not easy. It's not easy to recreate the old school formula. You have to make a lot of sacrifices. You have to do quote unquote bad game design. You have to, there's no other way, because if you don't create hardship, if you don't create situations where you are frustrated, then the social interaction doesn't happen.
Okay. Like that's the thing. If you're lost in an MMORPG, it's important to be able to ask people or ask for direction or help or whatever.
Exactly.
It's like also the big issue on Discord, like people calling out people for gatekeeping, for not spoiling like the entire quest lines or whatever. I always give people pointers, like I try to give them clues. But it's so stupid because in my eyes, it's like, why would you spoil something like that instantaneously? Everything will be data mined or put on a website a couple of weeks into the game. Anyway, like that's one of the best memories I had from Apogeia when I played the first playtest, because we actually figured out things.
Yeah, because if you don't create scarcity properly, and you don't create hardship and challenge properly, and you don't force quote unquote the player to like having to talk to someone else, then this situation will never happen. Like it's never gonna happen. Like why would you do it? Social interactions are hard. They're awkward. You don't want to do it. But when you have to do it, because the game has put you in that very hard place that you can't get out. You don't see any other way other than saying, hey, someone please help me get through the orc or the troll that's guarding the bridge or whatever. Like people interact with each other and then the game works. And then you go, wow, that's so cool. But then at the same time, other people will go, that's not cool because I got frustrated. So
exactly.
It's a sacrifice. It's a literal game design sacrifice that I don't know if it was on purpose or not from Cipsoft and from other old school games. Like now I'm starting to believe that it was because of the changes they did. Because of the changes all of them did. All of the old school game developers were like, we have to get on with the times. And then they started doing UX, right? They started going like, no, we have to think about the user experience. Everything needs to be butter smooth. The interface needs to be like perfect, pristine, not clumsy on the eyes, right?
You should never hit a wall.
Yeah, you should never have a situation where it's uncomfortable ever. And it's like, okay, then there's no friction. If there is no friction, then it's boring. And then people will not interact with each other. And then they will go back to old school RuneScape. Because it's the only option available for having that experience, right?
I watched the video from a guy who explained why WoW players are migrating to RuneScape right now. And the keyword there was emergent gameplay. And it's a very interesting... I mean, I experienced it. I knew it is there. I never heard that phrase. But essentially, emergent gameplay is the type of gameplay that developers didn't plan for. It's what the design of the game enables for players to create themselves. So like Goldshire in Elwyn Forest, for example, right?
Yeah. Emergent gameplay is like... there's an example in Tibia from Arieswar's times, which is like there was a guild, a very specific guild, that you could pay them gold to kill someone. They were called the
Ah.
mercenaries,
Holy shit.
right? Yeah. So, yeah, there you go. That's emergent gameplay.
It
They
is.
created a new class within the game that didn't have support for that, right?
Someone in the chat says
I
that
will-
with difficulty comes community. And yeah, hardship creates
Yes.
bondship,
Yep,
of
yep,
course.
yep,
Yeah,
yep.
absolutely.
100%.
Yeah.
And that's why I want PvP to be alive in, because PvP is one of the biggest hardships in an MMO, like Tibia or
True.
Apogeia or whatever.
Yeah. I was under attack
True.
yesterday for
Yeah.
defending PvP in the game, so we can talk about it
Mhm.
too. But I only have final point on what we just said about emergent gameplay and quests being cool and shit and relying on people. When I played RuneScape these past 2 days, I found a few quests here and there, and every time I picked up a quest where I had to like talk to the NPC, listen to the tips, and figure the shit out, there was always someone in the chat, hey, why don't you just install a quest helper? It's basically an add-on that tells you where to go. So, yeah, there'll always be people that try to jump the hoops, right? Like, it's just the way it is. But I think if there's anything that I learned, it is that there are players who want a quality game time in digital worlds, and I would rather have a game cater to those people than people who just want to install Quest Helper and follow that mindlessly. It's just waste of time to me, like waste of product, waste of value that you're paying for, whether that with your time or with your wallet, right? So
Yeah.
Well,
y-
see,
yeah.
people, unique experiences, like unique game mechanics, unique mounts, unique how the mounts react to people or react to you when you're near them. Some people prefer, like, say, the mount you dismount, but the mount doesn't disappear. The mount just follows you around and stuff like that. There's
Mhm.
other little things you can do. Player engagement is very important. So if they can find something they like that you can't find in other games, that's a good thing. I believe it's possible if you know what to look for.
Me and Ed have talked about Yankundaf, Desert Quest. You should know about this, Aries. Like, when I started, first time I cleared Desert Quest, I was privileged because somebody told me you need to bring a sword if you're a knight. You just basically skipped the entire quest line in Yankundaf and went to the quest room and put the sword there, and you get teleported to the 10k quest chest. But like, it's so lore intensive, like Yankundaf. All the books, everything can solve, all the keys down there. That place is so action packed, and it has a library too. It is crazy, like how much you missed. Like in the later days, I started like reading all the books, solved everything down there, have keys for every place. So it's stuff like that you miss out because you kind of got spoiled to the end and don't have to like deal with the entire complexity of the quest itself. I'm not sure if you like when you played Aries, if you had to do the quest from the beginning in Yankundaf.
Yeah, it was early. So the quests were early. We kind of figuring things out as we go. There was one time way back then we took a pick and we picked every single dirt spot imaginable, and we found hidden holes. It's ridiculous.
Yep.
This reminds
That's
me
how we
of
found
Lineage.
yeah.
It reminds me of
Sorry.
Lineage to Class Quest from like old era. Like so in Lineage 2, the way you build the characters, you start as a simple wizard or a fighter, and then on the when you hit level 20, you pick up your first class quest, and then on the level 40 you have another one. So I remember me and my friends, we are trying to figure out some of those quests for about 2 to 3 weeks, how to actually get it done. Like, how do you turn from wizard to some kind of higher mage, right? It would literally be 2 weeks of running around, talking, asking, just to get this shit done. Obviously, if you had a guide, you would do it in one day, right?
Yeah.
But this is what I remember. This is the fond memory that I want to have from playing games. How I struggled, right? That was really fun.
Because there's a dopamine rush or whatever.
Oh,
you
shit.
you put in time,
Yeah.
and you like solve it. It's like, holy shit, I did it! Like we found it. We got the reward.
Yeah. Someone in the chat
And
said,
it's one of the
Aeikz, someone in the chat said that you sound like Bono, by the way. So just saying.
Bono.
Bono, yeah. Yeah.
Like the
Well-
U2 singer?
I believe so. Yes.
Oh shit, okay.
Yeah. You have a
Well,
voice
I
of
think-
an angel.
Do you guys
Yeah,
think
bro.
this is a good time to call it quits here? I
Sure.
think that it was a very good conversation.
Sure.
Yeah,
I
we
will
could-
be very
Maybe
happy
we'll
to
do a
have
short
you
one this time around.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a good idea. And I'd be very happy to have you around if you allow me for a PvP talk. It's always a heated
A what?
chat. About the
Another
PvP.
one?
PvP in games over PvP.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah, I would love that.
Well, we could discuss PvP real quick. Like I think.
It's not quick, dude. No, it's not quick.
Yeah, it's not quick.
Okay, you're right. You're actually right.
But I can add a Tibia point. I don't know how much lore you know Arieswar from like Lunara or other servers when they were up. Do you know Liches of Archener? Like
maybe
Cast
I
of
have to-
Flame. So what they did in Adron, they would like have a letter or like a scroll where they write down names who they allow into Cyclopolis. Because if they didn't pay, they would kill them. And if you pay
Yeah.
10k, you had free access to that place. So that's also part of the Emergent gameplay, whatever.
I remember that in Elderon. Yes, that was a big thing.
Yeah,
Shit.
because that's also part of it with the mercenaries on Antica, for an example. Pay them for killing people.
It was
It's a
really
similar
popular.
thing in
It was a
Lunara.
really profitable spot there too.
I mean, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you're talking about really like aggressive, volatile, emergent gameplay. People
Yes,
assassinating.
yes.
What about fucking death roll in World of Warcraft or people getting married in Lineage 2? You know?
Oh, yeah.
Crazy stuff. Like people. That's why I fucking love MMOs. Please never stop making MMOs. Really, I love that social
Have you
experience.
seen? There's a video in World of Warcraft where there was basically a RP event for someone who had died in real life, and a bunch of
Wreckful,
like PvP
Wreckful.
hordes.
Yeah, Wreckful. Yeah.
Yeah, and a bunch
Oh, I
of
remember.
horde PvPs just rush them down and just kill everyone on the spot. Like just ruin the entire thing.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It is messed up, but it's also like
It's
shit.
awesome, and it's exactly what you
there's
remember.
also PvP. During world events in Tibia, there was actually PvP guilds who would go around try to fail quests. So they had characters for every world. There was a few worlds. So what they did, they had PvP characters ready for each world for that event, and they destroyed all but ours. But Antica was the only one to resist it. I believe I remember. I just can't remember which guild it was. It was a while back.
Damn, that's crazy.
Fuck me. Memories, dude. So many of them.
Yeah, it's fun because you remember
Same.
like it's such defining moments
Yeah.
that happen, like,
Yeah.
and it sticks to your mind.
And the thing is, you can only appreciate memories looking backwards. So hopefully Apogeia will give us those memories that we can appreciate in 10 years'
Yup.
time, you know? Will be awesome.
Wait, I'm already nostalgic about the first tests.
God
I'll tell
damn
you
it.
about the war that
I can't shut the fuck up about the Apogeia first playtest, so I kinda on the same train. Yeah. I'm so
What did you
gutted
say,
I
Aaron?
missed the
Sorry.
second one. Yeah. Go ahead, sorry.
Did you you probably don't remember this, but CIP Soft actually was in control of a monster. It was the actual monster. It wasn't an actual player. It was a monster with like over 2 million HP or something like that, or 10 million. I can't remember. It was
Yeah,
like a lot.
I remember that. It was I mean, I wasn't there, but I know what it is. It's the Ferumbras, I think. Wasn't that?
Yeah, it was down in POH, down near that temple in POH.
Really?
Yeah, it was all the way down there in a big green area.
Oh. Interesting.
There is actually. Oh, there's a Druid Island too, like in POH. Is that the one you mean? Like the teleporter?
The
No,
name
it
of
was
the
in the open.
Ferumbras.
Like so many
Ferumbras?
people, like thousands of people died there.
Because there's the Nightmare Tower too. There's so much lore here. And there's like the right by next to Temple, there was like the Giant Spider Hole, also. And then west
it's
there
what we
was the
thought.
Dragon Hole. Like I have an interactive map. If you want to check like 7.4, and they
Cool.
kind of started rooms. If you like go down a couple of floors, there's like crazy rooms with like Black Knights and stuff,
Yeah, 1 second.
which they like prepared for future, but they never like released it. So there's like some cool stuff. It's like just rooms they put out there.
Do you know how
I never used.
Do you know how the guys hacked Zipsoft?
No, actually don't know. I don't know how
What they
there
did?
was some leaked files.
What they did is they got a German woman to do social hacking. They called the
Social
data
engineering, no
center.
way.
Yeah, they called the data center and they were like, "Hey, I work for Zipsoft and we can't access the servers. Can you give me the info?" And then they
That is
hacked it.
crazy.
Yeah,
Because the
that
most
is actually
common
insane.
leak, or the full leak, is 7.72, I think. I think most like old school or old version OTs are run on that client. But Tibia-inspired runs on a genuine like 7.4. I don't know. It's very not many people have their hands on that, and I don't know how they got it. Have you played a
Just
lot
one
of
second.
OT servers, Aries? Oh, I had to go. Be right back.
Yeah, yes, I have. I have played quite a few.
Okay, nice.
Okay, guys, I have this big message. This is the biggest message of them all in the chat, and it actually touches upon something very important, because you are now effectively talking to someone who finds it difficult to get hooked on MMOs, and that person is explaining what's the problem. So maybe you can kind of like point them in the right direction, okay? So she says that solo-friendly MMORPGs often feel hollow, at least for me, when they strip away the need for cooperation, reducing what should be a communal experience into isolated progression. Best ones are community-driven, where shared hardships forge lasting friendships and give real meaning to the world and its challenges, or at least you have someone to be mad at when you notice what you're nostalgic about. That's quite it. Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely.
True.
True. This is big true. So I know this person, and they really struggle to stick around in MMOs. You know, it's often a very shallow experience, boring, and I kind of get it. I find myself also often distracted when playing new MMOs. Like, something is missing, you know. And lately, what I found that captured me enough is Dune Awakening, but I can feel like this is kind of fading away 100 hours in. Okay. And then Bitcraft. And the reason why Bitcraft is interesting to me is because there is one big server and everyone is part of the same arrow, building a civilization. And it's the game that doesn't force you to play 10 hours a day or 1 hour a day. You just fucking log in, do as much as you want, you can chop a tree, whatever, right? So I found that concept very intriguing. But TLDR from the chat is give me fucking Apogeia. Okay, this is basically it. Yeah, that's the summary.
That's cool.
Yeah.
TLDR, give me Apogeia. Let's go.
Let's go. Yeah.
Arieswar, give me your real actual opinion about Apogeia. Like, what do you think?
Potential's there. Still has to be worked in some areas. I would suggest try working on mounts, maybe.
On mounts?
What the
fuck?
Yo.
Oh my god.
Because see, the trick, you gotta create something unique about the mounts. So other characters have this mount and stuff like that, but when you dismount, you should have the mounts interact with the character. So if it's a horse, it'll try. If you stand still for too long, it'll pick at you or something. There's other little things you can do. You might give the mount levels, just like something that's unique, not just having a mount like other MMOs. Something that will draw them in. It's something unique. That's why the 3D thing is all nice and everything, but yeah, you need to like. There's other things you can do. Probably levels for weapons. But I don't know.
My issue with mounts is that I've played a lot of games. I've made a lot of games, and I have never ever seen a game that does it well. All games have like some like I can't really explain this, but it's like
Mechanic.
it's like it's wonky.
Mm.
Like it's never implemented in a way that's like smooth and completely interacts with the game. It's always extremely wonky.
Ed?
Or you have Ultima Online has a pretty good one.
Oh, I
There
never
you
played
tame-
that actually.
Have you guys ever played Guild Wars 2 and tried their mounts?
Yeah, I have.
Okay, I absolutely love
It's-
that. The utility
It's
of those mounts is
good.
great.
It's good when you're playing alone. It's not good when you're in a city. Like, okay, some cities don't allow mounts, but the ones that do is like, like the main problem with MMOs is population density, right? That it's in the fucking name. So mounts essentially double that when you allow a lot of people to be in the same room together. So to solve that in Apogeia is a challenge, to say the least. But okay, sorry to cut your feedback. You can keep going, please. Please don't stop.
Character and mount right. Or
Sorry, what
character.
was that?
That's right. That's one way of doing it.
Yeah. But what were you saying? I should focus on mounts and what else?
Probably weapons or maybe the looks. So when you equip the weapon or a sword, and if it's upgraded, it has slight differences to it compared to like a level 1 or level 2 as you level up. Like little things, nothing special. But then when you max it out, it has like either an effect or perhaps it looks really nice, like attachments or something. I don't know, or a different sprite altogether. It looks like attachments.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys are looking at my chat, but they are they have strong opinions on mounts. Since we touched on it, then yeah. There's division, right? I don't think mounts are required at all, not gonna lie. Then the other person is mounts. Mounts are always good option. I love mounts. And also companions. So please, little parrots as well. Yes. And then we have, I think the idea of mounts is cool because you can find a rare mount that other people look at when you are in spawn. I think instead of mounts, I think instead of mounts, focus more on character individuality. Brackets, transmogification.
Also, like leveled up weapons, different little graphics, and perhaps armor. Who knows? Even transmog. Yeah, that's another good choice too.
No.
Yeah. I really appreciate the feedback, man. I really do.
Yeah. The reason why I don't like transmog is because they take away value from the actual armor. This in the same line as the person noticed how mounts give you social status, the same way armor and weapons give you social status, and if everyone can just pretend fake to have them, that's just lame.
Yeah, it is a little bit.
Yeah, you can always put this in the show.
Probably down the road, but not right away. So it's probably like maybe a feature in the future it gets unlocked, but it's a thing you have to think about. You have to balance it. So you put people that worked hard to get it, they don't waste their time. Think they're wasting their time getting
True.
it. So
I think this is one of those ideas that can be executed in many ways. Same as mounts, transmogs, all of that. It's just an idea is good. It's just how do we implement it so it feels well in the game, so it fits into the game, right? So
you took the words out of my mouth, man.
Oh, right.
Crazy.
Okay, cool. See, I like, dude.
Give them back.
There you go. You have them. Take them. You can repeat.
Make it worth my time.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. No, the chat fucking woke up now that we talk about PvP mounts and shit. But dude, let's cut it. Let's keep them hungry, cliffhanger and shit, and they can join again next time, okay? Because like I've been streaming for 6 hours. I'm kind of starving, and yeah, and it is what it is. You get me? Yeah.
Yep. But it was a really good chat. Thank you for making it Arieswar and Aeikz.
Yeah,
I really
dude.
appreciate it.
Chad, we need big W. Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Thanks a lot, guys. And we should do this again. I liked it. I think there's a bunch of topics that we didn't cover that we should definitely cover.
Yeah, absolutely.
And maybe we should have some kind of script, like a better script that we can that we can follow rather than just going full procedural, right?
I will work on it. Yeah, I do have an idea how we can make those talks interesting. Well, more interesting. Not that it wasn't interesting. Just
Yeah.
more like with agenda kind of thing. Okay.
Yeah, it was good experimentation though. Because
Absolutely,
I
yeah.
feel like we need to talk about these things and put the theories to test. Because if we don't,
Mhm.
then how can we make something good, right? That's how I think, at least.
Yeah. Absolutely, and also this conversation has to be enjoyable by the viewers, by the listeners, so they can also let us know what they think, and we can tweak or at least take into consideration. Okay, yeah, and then make changes based on that. So, guys, we'll be in touch, right? We do have ourselves in friends list, so let's just keep an eye on the next available slot. Maybe next weekend, maybe in 2 weekends. Perfectly fine with me, and it's gonna be great. I think it's gonna be so much fun if we keep that going. Yeah, we can actually have an open discussion about the state of MMOs, and yeah, this is awesome. Thank you.
You guys want to say something, Arieswar?
Get good.
Get good! Hell yeah, kurva!
Let's go!
Let's go!
Let's fucking go, dude.
True.
Skill issue.
Yeah.
Well, all right.
I
Let's
love
end
this
it here,
shit.
then.
Guys, stay Bybsie.
Thank you for hosting
Thank
us,
you so
Bybsie.
much.
Thank you, man.
Fucking awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
Have a good one. See ya.
GG.
Yeah.
GG. SZ.